So a lot of you have been following Lucy's journey so far. And if you haven't, then Lucy has a unilateral complete cleft lip and palate on her left side. And she just this past week received her NOM appliance, which is much like a retainer that helps to mold and shape her gums and her lips and her nostrils and all the tissues that they need to be kind of stretched before surgery. It also helps her like eat better in the interim because she has like an actual palate that she can use, whereas like, you know, without it, her natural anatomy, she's missing half of her palate, so she's unable to use her whole mouth. So this helps a lot with that. But today in this video, I'm going to attempt to show you all how to take out the NOM, what it looks like, how to clean it, and then how to reinsert it and tape it back up. And this serves for a couple purposes. One, just a lot of you have been really curious and you are enjoying the education, which I love. This is a learning journey for all of us. Most everything that I have learned through other parents, through Cleft support groups. You know, you get like some guidance from your Cleft team and from like the Pediatric Dentist, but honestly it was very bare minimum, and most of everything that I know through other parents that have gone through this and shared their knowledge with me. So that is what we're gonna do. So let me grab Lucy. Right. Here's our little Lucy loose. Okay. So I tried to get like the best angle for this. Hopefully it works out. But as you see, Lucy is pretty content right now. I just gave her a nice warm bottle. She had a full feed. She just had her diaper changed just to get a nice clean bottom. So she is content and cozy and swaddled. Swaddling is the key both for the process of removing the NOM and reinserting it, and then also she does really good during the day of not messing with it so much, but at night, whether she's more active, because she is still a little bit more active at night right now than she is during the day, or if she's just kind of half asleep, she'll tend to like pick at her face more or try to get her hands in her mouth more. So swaddling is key with keeping that minimal so she can't like pull at her NOM. Okay, key number one, clean hands. Obviously go wash your hands. And then to remove it, I found it's easier to take the rubber bands off first. And I don't know if you can tell, but there are multiple layers of tape on her face. So she has like this like skin colored layer, which is called a base tape. And we actually use this Duoderm that we were given by the dentist to use. This is really good. It acts as like a second skin. However, one thing I've learned from a lot of parents is that this can cause reactions to skin and like rashes. So whenever we run out of this that we were given, we will be using hydrocolloid bandages. I've heard from all the experienced parents that it works just the same as Duoderm. It provides a great base layer to put the other tape on, but it also protects the skin more and doesn't irritate it as much as the Duoderm does. So just a little tip there. And then on top of the Duoderm, we have these steri strips also that we were given. A lot of parents, when they run out of these, you can buy more, but you can also use like NextCare tape. It does the same thing. And then on top of the steri strips, or connected to the steri strip on this little button here, we have the orthodontic elastic bands, and these are just the same things like they put on braces. Each baby would get a specific like diameter and force. So like she has a medium force, another baby may have a lower force or a higher force. So if you're buying supplemental, you just want to make sure that you match it up with whatever you were given by the dentist originally. But anyway, so she has the base tape, and then she has the steri strips on top, which are connected to the bands, which connect to this little button. And then on top of that, we have a reinforcement tape. This is optional, not everyone does it. Basically all it does, it keeps the steri strips from getting any dirt on them, because it would get on the outside reinforcement tape instead. It also just helps keep it on the face, so if the steri strip were to fall off, it has an extra protection there to kind of keep it on. And then honestly, that's the biggest bonus, is it's just cute, right? Like, she's a baby, she's adorable, let's make it cute. An example of one of the reinforcement tapes, like, it's not necessary, it just helps keep it on and it's cute. So we have several different options of those that I've purchased. Okay, Lucy does wear the nom 24/7, with exception to when it's being cleaned. If she develops any kind of bad reactions or ulcers, or like bleeding from the mouth, anything like that, we would leave it out and address those, or give her a longer period of time without it. But the recommendation, as long as they're tolerating it well, which thankfully she is, the recommendation is to leave it 24/7, except for when it's being cleaned. And the cleaning process, when I'm not yammering away for 8 minutes, takes about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to complete. So let's get started. First of all, I have a cup of warm water here ready to go, and I'm going to drop one of these little retainer cleaner tabs. This is not a denture cleanser. It's like same concept, but denture cleansers contain a lot of abrasives, whereas this is not an abrasive, it's just an antibacterial rinse. So important note there. But I'm gonna drop one of these retainer tabs into this cup of warm water that I have ready to go. As I was saying forever ago, I'm going to take it off, starting with the rubber band. There we go. And so you see I have the steri strip, the band it's attached to, and the reinforcement tape are all off, but the base tape is still on her skin. This is something that you put on once a week, really, the base tape. You put it on, you leave it on until it starts to come off. And whereas like these things, the steri strip and the bands, you change those every day when you clean. So we have one there. And then we're gonna do the same thing to this other side. So take off your rubber band, hold down your base tape, and pull the steri strip. There we have those two. Now, once that happens, just wiggle this out of her mouth, and there we go. So that is what her nom looks like. It has a little hole there in the middle, so in case it were to fall out of her mouth, that she would still be able to breathe. It wouldn't block her airway. These are custom molded, custom fitted to every baby, every palate, obviously just like a retainer would be. And then it has this little button on the end. This is what they call a button, this little piece right here. That's where the rubber bands go on. So I am going to drop this in here. And these retainer tablets, they call for soaking for 3 to 5 minutes. So I will just let this soak while I'm doing the rest of the cleaning process on her mouth. And then by the time I'm done with that, we'll be able to scrub this and put it back in. We're gonna let that do its thing while we do the rest. So we have these little oral swabs here. We got a few from our dentist, the pediatric dentist, but ordered a bunch more from Amazon. They're just these basic disposable oral swabs. And with that, we are going to damp, warm oral sponge, and I am going to take this just around the outside of her mouth, cleaning up anything like on her lips, any dried milk or residue, and then also inside her mouth. She does not like this part. She will probably scream at me, but you do want to clean up the inside. Sometimes like they'll get milk stuck in there, like Cleft. All right. All right, she's gonna scream at me now because I'm gonna go inside her mouth, which she does not like, and try to clean up in her cleft. You can see we just got like a bunch of mucus and a bunch of mucus and milk out. Okay. Some lip protectant. So I'm actually using the Burt's Bees nipple cream because it's safe to be consumed. It's coconut oil, calendula, vitamin E. Very good hydrating, moisturizing, protectant layer. And I don't mind if she ingests it. They also suggest using just like a pea-sized amount of Vaseline, which you could also use. I just feel better about using this. But basically you just want something that will moisturize and protect the lips and just kind of her skin. Yeah. Once you have everything cleaned up in there, we were given this little oral dental mirror, so we can put this in and just check for any ulcers or sore places that are starting to pop up. Okay, she's looking good. We're looking good, Lucy man. So far so good. I don't see any ulcers or any bleeding sites, anything that looks irritated, so that's fantastic. Okay, so at this point, her mouth has been cleaned, it's been moisturized and protected. We've checked for ulcers, and at this point it's been more than 3 minutes since this has been soaking, so we would just take it out of the cleanser and you give it a good scrub, just like you would with a denture. I'm just using a regular toothbrush here. You're just gonna scrub around here, make sure you get all the milky bits off. Get it nice and clean. Alright, and I've got everything scrubbed pretty well here, and I am going to take this to the bathroom, rinse it really well under warm, not hot water, and then we'll be right back for reinsertion. So I have it all rinsed. I am drying it off now. If you're in here, you'll be able to see it a little bit better, not quite so milky now, but this is her nom, so that is the thing that sits in her mouth. All right, so now that we have that, we're going to use just a tiny bit of this poly grip. We're using the Cushion and Comfort line, just so just to give her a little extra cushion on her gums. And I'm only going to put a tiny little strip only on the right side, which is the side where she has the gums. The other side here, that's just her open palate. So I'm just going to put a tiny little strip on the inside of the right side here. See, just a tiny bit. I don't know if you can even see it because it's white, but just a tiny bit there on this corner. And then we are going to insert it. So it's this big thing, but I mean, she takes it really well. And just kind of get her to open. See if you guys can see here. Kind of hook my finger in the corner of her mouth to get her to open for me. And like I said, she doesn't like insertion or taking it out, so she might cry a little, but she's not in pain. She's just uncomfortable and angry that I'm bothering her. Okay, so now we have it in her mouth. I'm gonna hold it for just a minute on that right side where that poly grip is, just to kind of get a little bit of an adhesion before I move on to the tapes and the band. So we have that in there. So now we're gonna move on to the steri strips with the bands. Now I already have some made ready to go because it makes life much easier. But basically with these steri strips, you can see they're like these little medical tapes, and we have the bands at the end of them. So you just have to put them on the end, and then you fold over one end of the tape to like go through the band, so then that way the band is hooked onto the tape, if that makes sense. So I have some already made up, and I don't have any non-made up steri strips here to show you how to actually do it, but that's all it is. So you're gonna take one of these, and careful to not let it adhere onto itself, and then you're going to you just place the band onto the button. I say not wrap because you're not like looping it, you just put it on there. See if I can get you guys closer so you can see this a little better. There we go. So all right, so I have this little band here, and I'm just going to put it right here on the button. I'm trying to focus this a little bit. Okay, and then once we have that, we are going to tape it, and you want to apply some pressure so that way you are putting enough tension on it. And you always want to make sure you're going in an upward motion. So we're going to go in an upward motion up to her hairline, basically. And it is a little bit longer than we need, so I'm going to cut that excess off when we finish the process. But so that is one side. And then I will repeat with the other side. We're going to do the same thing. You loop it on the button and apply tension upwards and tape. And try to keep it off of her hairline so I can cut it off easily without hurting her or cutting any hair. So we have the tapes and the bands applied. And like I said, I could stop here. This is done. It's complete. Some people, this is their last step. We like to be extra, so we have the reinforcement tapes / the cutie stuff. So we are going to go ahead and use that. I have her purple bands on, so I think I'm going to do maybe butterflies, we think. Let's do some butterflies. She's getting restless on me, but anyway, okay. So this here, I'm just going to tape right over that steri strip and give it a rub because it's thermal activated. So let's give it a rub so it adheres to the skin. And then we will do the same thing on the other side. Roll over for me, baby. Here we go. Alright, and then you pick your baby up and comfort them because they are upset. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. She's a little calmer now. So let's see if I can show you guys our finished work there. Let me say hi, Lucy. Yeah. So, hopefully you learned something. If you ever find yourself in a position where you need to help someone care for a nom, maybe this could be helpful. Here is cute Lucy. We'll get it off of me, let you see her cute little face.